It is the Riot Podcast, the Cinco De Mayo edition.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Isaiah, I had an idea. I offered it to Nikki. She doesn't seem very receptive. What do you think about Hawaiian Shirt Fridays on the show?
That seems like your thing.
You don't own a Hawaiian shirt?
I have a Hawaiian shirt, yeah. Kind of. It's not really even a Hawaiian shirt. It's kind of a Hawaiian shirt.
Everybody has one from like the one time at work or class where you had the theme day. And they're like, well, let's do Hawaiian shirt stuff.
I think we've got a video podcast. We have a thriving YouTube channel and Facebook page and whatever where people will come to watch us. We need to be more colorful and more and just explore more with our attire.
I don't think so. I noticed today I have a spot on my shirt, so like I think this is all we do.
That's why you need some new clothes.
This is all we have
Hawaiian
to offer.
Shirt. Brand new.
Nikki just wears
unsullied.
RadioU shirts every day.
Yeah, I know.
What a fan favorite. Good for you.
Listen,
you love RadioU.
She's a company gal.
It is non-confrontational. It is, they're all free, so I'm not paying for anything. And what else would be bonus? It's promoting your brand, and they're all comfortable. Shop.radiou.com.
Yeah.
So outside of the stain, I don't know where I picked that up.
I think people watch and they go, geez, all the radio, you take it easy. I know what I'm watching.
I get it.
Look, if you have a cardigan, you're like, what RadioU shirt?
What shirt
I
even
can
is
just
it?
cover it.
Well,
you don't even know.
You said it's non-confrontational. What's more non-confrontational than a Hawaiian shirt?
That is pretty true.
You can't get into a fight in a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I'm sure Hawaii would have an argument about that because there's fights that do happen there.
When I think that you should wear it every Friday. I think that'd be a cool thing for you, and then I'll do a different theme.
Ooh, what's your theme going to be?
It's a surprise. You'll know when you see it.
It better not be hoodie.
No. Crew neck.
That's all you get. Well, no, you should. This is where you have to make it work for you. I know you're looking for that jacket for the Browns.
You're right.
So what you should have done is that's the theme. You know, like we need sports jackets.
Maybe like Throwback Fridays or something.
Exactly. And then you could have put that on the company charge.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea, Nikki.
Yes.
We can still do it. We can still do it.
No, you said you didn't want to.
I've got another idea.
Okay.
Bowling shirt Tuesdays.
What's the difference? What's a bowling shirt? Is that just flannel?
It's like,
No.
I know exactly what a bowling shirt is.
It's a button up with like a
But it's only like right here, though. It's like a button up. It doesn't go all the way down.
I think it goes all the way down.
I thought for some reason it was like a button up, but yeah, no collar, long sleeves, like your elbows. It has to be to your elbows.
I don't know. Look it up.
A bowling shirt?
Yeah, so we can figure this out.
I would, but my company laptop's dead because it has no battery.
So I guess we can't afford your jacket.
Yeah,
Your
clearly
jacket.
we
They're
can't.
always colorful. It's like this.
Yes. Let's
right,
see. I'll get it to you.
bowling
I'll get it to you. Show them. Oh, they can't see that. Oh, they can kind of see it.
Yeah, they can see it.
No, I don't want to.
Look at that.
Bowling shirt
Whoa,
Tuesdays.
Whoa,
I
look
got
at this
Nikki.
one.
I don't want to wear that.
It looks good. I like the stripes.
Look at that.
Oh, maybe we need team ones.
Yeah. See, can we have a bowling
We could
team?
have a RadioU ones.
Uh-huh.
Why do we not have RadioU bowling shirts?
Here's
That's
where
what I'm saying.
A whole part of
And
our
then we could
audience.
have bowling shirt Tuesday.
Here's
Yes.
where my defiance disorder comes in. I don't want to wear bowling shirts. I don't
That'd
want
be
to.
so cool.
But the more then you just wear it. You bring it into your workwear.
Because if I just wear it myself, I'll feel out of place.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
Bowling people don't.
No, you know what? I'd make you feel out of place.
I
I'd
can't.
bully you into
I don't know.
wearing it.
You wear weird stuff all the time, and I don't really feel that weird.
It doesn't bother us at all. Like I don't feel like I have to wear jerseys. You wear sports
Well, I
stuff
don't
all
bully
the time.
you into that. I don't bring it up.
Hudson, you
I don't
dress,
lord it over
you. wear
you.
wild stuff all the time, and every time I don't even think about it now. Like if I saw somebody walking down the street wearing what you wear, I'm like, what is that guy doing? Nowadays, it's like, well, that's what he wears.
You guys, if you're not watching our video podcast, we have screens. I don't even see what you wear until we stand up
True.
after the show, so I don't feel like you could bully me at all. I don't think so.
All of his outfits just run together for me. Like you could have wore that yesterday, and I wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
Which is
that's-
crazy because unlike you, I don't wear nondescript clothes.
I know. It's that wild. I'm pretty sure you wore a flannel yesterday. Yes.
Yes,
I wear
probably.
flannel every day.
And do you?
Yeah.
Every day?
Pretty much.
What are you going to
That's
wear in the
wild.
summer? I don't remember.
I usually ditch the flannel, just go
Just a
t-shirt
t-shirt.
only.
Now, here's the real question. When are you going to transfer over to shorts? I've got shorts on right now. You're rocking jeans still. It's starting to get to that time of year.
I wear jeans probably until it hits 90.
Yeah.
90.
It's too much.
Really?
I'm a big jeans guy. I'm not a big shorts guy. At least not for this is a place of business.
Why do you wear jean shorts?
Oh my gosh!
right.
Please,
I'm
wear
not
jorts.
a dweeb, Nikki.
Wear jorts. I have a pair of jorts that I wear in the summertime, depending on the event.
You know what I see now? There's the bully right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a dweeb. What is
Exactly.
that?
I'm not a weenie.
Jean shorts are cool. I've got a really nice pair.
Are
First
yours?
off,
Wait,
your-
are yours like regular?
Your bullying is still very nice.
Are your jean shorts like cutoffs?
Did I do it myself? Are you asking?
No, maybe,
did.
but is that the style at least?
Like, yeah, they're cut off. They're above the knee.
Yeah.
And you know what the best part about
Look
them
like
is?
frayed?
The pair that I have. The bottom, it's not too frayed. The pair that I have, white racing stripes down the side. Yeah, they're pretty sick. I won't lie. I went to Goodwill, and I was looking for a pair of jeans to cut off into jean shorts because I wanted a tighter fit, kind of a custom fit. All the
Sure.
ones at the store, real baggy, real loose. And so I went to Goodwill trying a pair of jeans. I was like, if I cut these right here, they'll be real nice. And I look at the side of them, white stripes. I'm like, these are perfect. This is the perfect jean short.
Guys, we have spent 6 minutes talking.
They were $3 too. That's the best part.
If you want to do matching jean short Tuesdays,
Let's do jean short Tuesdays. I know Nikki
Yes.
has a pair.
I'm not bringing
He
those
has jean
in.
shorts.
I'm not bringing those in.
Oh, this is going to be a great day.
All right, well, we'll leave you at all that. Let the rest of the podcast be a surprise. And make sure you text and say hi at 877-2-RADIO-U. Click on the video before this, also at RadioU Riot on our Facebook and our YouTube channel to check out our Summer Freeze Mountain Dew food fights that we did.
and have a good weekend.
Okay,
See you guys.
bye.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Congratulations are in order for the inductees into the Video Game Hall of Fame for 2023. The Video Game Hall of Fame is where they're putting, we talked about a while ago, the 20-foot tall Donkey Kong
Oh, the
playable
game,
video game
yes.
cabinet.
Is that the same? Is it also in Buffalo, the same place
It's
as like
in,
the Toy Museum?
Rochester.
Rochester, that's
the
it.
Strong National Museum of Play. Yeah, so they have the Video Game Hall of Fame, and they've announced the 4 games that are going to be added into the Hall of Fame this year. We have The Last of Us.
That's a good call.
Makes sense.
Of course.
Wii Sports.
Brought to you by HBO, by the Max.
Yeah. Maybe that was, I don't know, do they have people vote on this? Maybe everybody voted for Last of Us
Because of
because of the show.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, still a deserving game for sure.
And I'm sorry, you said Wii Sports?
Wii Sports
I feel
is
like
in.
That should have been already in, or that should come first.
Yeah, I don't know how long this museum has been adding games in. I think it's fairly recent, but you'd still think Wii Sports would be one of the absolute first you would take. It changed the game, if you will. Also, a thing called Computer Space, which is one of the very first original video games. It came out in 1971.
I don't even know how to describe what it looks like. I've never seen it before.
It's a rocket, and you battle a pair of computer-controlled flying saucers in space.
All right.
Yeah, and then Barbie Fashion Designer.
Oh.
Yeah, do you remember playing that?
I don't think I remember it.
You didn't play that?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know. I just didn't.
I was counting on you.
Oh, you wanted me to be someone who played
Because
it?
I certainly didn't play it.
No.
I don't play with Barbies.
Well, okay, but I was thinking more like, for me, I loved more like Nintendogs, something along those lines. But this looks like a classic, similar to like Oregon Trail, but fashion designer.
The reason that they added it in, they credit it for being a game that made gaming cool for girls. Apparently, before Barbie Fashion Designer, video games were a man's world.
Oh, I see. Some of the other titles that lost, so they were not inducted into the Game Hall of Fame. Angry Birds, that of course will make it one day.
Yeah.
Age of Empires, Call of Duty 4, GoldenEye, NBA 2K, FIFA International Soccer, Quake, and Wizardry.
GoldenEye would be a good addition. It is. If you're thinking about if they've done this for several years, they still haven't gotten to GoldenEye and Angry Birds.
Eventually,
And only now getting to Wii Sports.
those will all make it in.
They will, yeah. I mean, they can't take everything in all at once.
Of course.
Although, wouldn't it suck to go to a Hall of Fame like the first year it's there and it's like, oh, here's the 4 things.
I think that because this is the play side of the Hall of Fame, and it's still also the other toy Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's just a section of
Yeah,
the
that makes
bigger
sense.
toy Hall of Fame.
And it's a museum too, so there's other stuff
boring
to
anyways.
see. As far as museums go, though, maybe if you can play video games at a museum, that sounds like a good museum.
Or you could just play video games, not at a museum and at home. Imagine that.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
The mystery of the cooked pasta.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Yeah. Did you read, what was that mystery girl, Nancy Drew?
Oh, Nancy Drew?
Yeah.
I read that when I was younger.
You think she could solve this?
Probably.
This is it feels like exactly what Nancy Drew would be doing.
Even though nowadays, we don't have pasta. So.
We don't.
Well, we should be
Because it's all been dumped here in New Jersey.
We should be having a lot of carbs.
That's probably what whoever did this was thinking. They're like, the only way to keep myself from being tempted by pasta is to dump it by this river in New Jersey, where it is estimated that 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, 100 pounds.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Okay.
300 to 400 pounds of cooked pasta. That's an important distinction. It wasn't just, a truck carrying a bunch of uncooked pasta turned over.
It was cooked?
And this was cooked pasta. Somebody went through the trouble of cooking it, and then they said, no, we're not going to eat it. We're going to dump it in a park, and that's where it is. It's been cleaned up by now.
Yeah.
But the mystery remains.
Of who did it?
Where did this cooked pasta come from?
Isaiah, if you don't mind looking in, can you check temperatures for New Jersey? Because what if it's hot enough and it
It
stays
just cooked
warm?
itself?
Well, no, it cooked itself. Like they just dumped uncooked pasta in the water and then
I don't think it's that hot.
it's not boiling.
46 degrees right now.
Yeah, totally. That's what happened.
But there is a high of 63 today. There will be rain.
It will be rain.
It sounds like more like pasta salad at that point.
People are so weird. If they just want to do something, someone just was like, yeah, why don't we just make this pasta thing and do something? And then they just dump it there.
How many hundreds of dollars worth of pasta do you think that is?
Oh, that's a good question.
I guess
don't know.
probably about $300 to $400, right?
I don't know the conversion.
Yeah. Nikki doesn't want to say how much she spends on pasta. She
I don't
doesn't know.
notice.
She's out of touch.
So all the cooked pasta has been cleared and cleaned by a crew. It was employees.
Cleaned so we can eat it?
It was cleaned up, but it was just dumped there. It's just really odd.
And they say that I guess the natural conclusion might be maybe some restaurant might have dumped it out, like they had extra or something, and they didn't know where to put it.
They had extra. Don't you think they would have held on to that?
I know. You could have just totally used that somewhere else.
But that's the only. Who else would have 300 to 400
I'll
pounds
tell you
of
who has
pasta?
it.
All right.
The mob.
The mob?
The mob.
They were using this pasta to transport drugs illegally.
Oh, no.
And then when they transported the drugs, they got rid of the pasta.
It could
It feels
be.
a little sloppy for the
or-
mob, doesn't it?
But how are they going to track them down, though?
Well, what if it's like, I like the chickpea pasta, like it's just alternative pastas.
Mm-hmm.
What if this was drugs the whole time, but just put in pasta?
Ooh,
There
it's
you
shaped
go.
into pasta form.
They say it was-
again, very sloppy. Will you leave 300 to 400 pounds of drugs?
Don't know.
out in
They
the park?
bolted.
Your explanation was restaurants didn't want it.
That's a possibility. But
You said they didn't want the leftovers.
The leftovers. Is it Olive Garden? Is it you? So it was 500 pounds of cooked pasta, spaghetti, macaroni, all by the river. They just said that it would really have been a problem for animals because, yes, it's funny, haha, they get some free pasta, but not such a large amount.
doesn't sound like a problem to me.
Again, they wouldn't be able to contain themselves.
Yeah, I know. It'd be exciting for them.
It'd be a rotting pasta meal, they said.
It's a mystery. What
Drugs.
Drugs. It's always that. You know it is.
It has to be.
Nobody could just throw away all those drugs.
No, okay.
I don't think that this is drugs. I think that they were using it to hide it
How
in a
about
van.
last speculation? There was that pile of pasta to distract them from the large pile of drugs
Farther
2
down.
miles over, down the water, and no one even went over there.
Exactly. They stopped
Clever.
right here.
Clever. That's thinking like a real smuggler, Nikki.
Happy I can try to crack the code.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Yay or nay on this?
Ooh.
I have a marriage proposal that is dividing the internet. The woman, Erica Murphy, she tweeted out earlier this week. She said, "So it's been an amazing year with my guy. This morning before I left for work, he left this in the bathroom for me to find, and I said yes."
What was it?
It was a ring with a note on a ripped off piece of paper, college ruled. It says, will you marry me?
He just left that for her?
He just left it on the bathroom counter.
He wasn't there? Like to...
Yeah, he had to get to work.
Well, let me hear his reasoning.
Clearly.
Reasoning? He wanted to marry her. What do you mean?
Well, why isn't he there for the moment? Why are you just leaving the ring?
The busy guy.
He said he had flown in to Atlanta from Detroit to propose because this was the weekend of their 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
So he just happened to be in, or like not just happened, but he wasn't in town normally. He came in to do this proposal.
So, okay, again, I love the proposal. I'm not having a problem with like the bathroom counter or something like that.
Yeah.
It's shocking because you expect him to pop out or something. Be like, I'm so glad you said yes.
Well, for him to attend the proposal,
yeah.
you think that he would make an appearance, but not always, you know?
Not always, I guess.
It worked for her. It worked on her.
She was fine. Like, did she call him when done? Like, how did this happen? I just assumed he'd be hiding somewhere waiting for her to wake up.
Actually, you know what? Because it's just tweeted out, I don't actually have confirmation on that. He may have been there. And he
for sure wasn't there.
You don't think so?
No way.
He just, what if he...
Because didn't she say he left it on the bathroom counter for her?
He said he left it.
That means that he's not, if he left something, he wasn't there.
What if it was this? What if she works in news, so she probably has an early morning. So like he went to bed after her last night. He left that there, and then he went to bed, so he's still asleep.
Well,
Hudson, quit it. You know he wasn't there.
People are having not just issues with that. They say, couldn't he have used the whole sheet of paper?
Yeah, I do like how it's ripped off.
It's written terribly. Some were saying, hey, you don't have to do an extravagant proposal. Like, that doesn't have to be, but maybe this is too not extravagant. So you need to find some place in the middle. But she didn't like or want anything too crazy.
Yeah, I think if she's happy, she's clearly happy with it. So that's all that matters. This guy, he's lucked out, I think.
You got it pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just going to tell everybody else. You know, everybody's relationship is different, but if you are going to propose anything to anyone, it is nice if you're there.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I think it's an important part of the proposal.
I think so,
to
too.
show up, and you can't leave early. You got to be there the whole time. But I would say that for most people, they would be upset if they found this.
What would be worse, if he was not there because he had to go work or something, or if he was there and asleep in bed because
he hadn't woken up yet? He's like, oh, you found that? Oh, yeah, I was wondering.
You know, I don't know if I like either of them, so I am not sure about this, but she's happy, and that's fine.
Not the guy for you. Not the guy for you.
It seems like he should have just waited until maybe a time that was more opportune for him. Maybe a time that he could be there.
Yeah.
Yet again, you could have planned that out, I feel like.
That would be nice.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Disaster was narrowly averted in Hawaii earlier this week when 2 tourists nearly drowned, but were saved by the crew of a sailboat that had just gotten back from sailing. The reason these tourists almost drowned is because they followed their GPS straight into the ocean.
So like right into the water.
That's the excuse that they've come up with.
It looks like a boat dock, you know, like the...
They drove down it.
Yeah, they drove down the boat dock.
The boat ramp. Yeah.
I don't understand how they could do that.
When the GPS tells you to do something, you do it.
Well, I mean...
There's 2 types of people in this world. Those that follow their GPS blindly and those that are like many other people I know that argue with it.
A lot of times, though, when I follow the GPS, it's like, oh, I'm in the parking lot. Okay, in the route, that sort of thing. I don't need it to take me right to the water, or in this case, in the water.
Yeah, that's what they did. And so it's great because there's even video of them being rescued. And what I mean, there's actually a lot of things I love because as it's a minivan, a Chrysler Town and Country, it's driving down the ramp. It's in the water. It's halfway submerged. And the lady is still sitting there in the driver's seat with her seatbelt on.
Just in case.
And she's looking out at like these people yelling at her, you know, filming, and she's acting confused, like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, get out of the van that's about to sink to the bottom of the ocean, perhaps?
I mean, that could actually be very dangerous. Thankfully, her window was down and like she could just get help getting out. But you don't want to be in your car. Do you know what the other favorite part is, though?
What's that?
Did you see the back of the car?
What about it?
To the last moment, the windshield wiper on the back.
Still going.
Catch the windshield wiper.
Still going.
What's that going to do?
Well, then it just, you see bubbles at the end, and it's like right before the last windshield wipe happens.
Yeah, this is, what a disaster. What would you think you would ever follow your GPS like this, Nikki?
No, not like that.
What kind of a question is that, Hudson?
Well,
we're making fun of the whole story. You're like, you think you'd ever do this? Obviously not.
Say why.
I mean, how would you talk yourself out of it, is what I'm saying.
I think I'd pull up to the ocean and say, I probably should stop here. Oddly enough, I see that it's going to go downhill from here.
So you think you're smarter than Michael Scott, huh?
Hudson, I think that if I approached an ocean, I wouldn't drive in. Because I've approached many a lakes, many a ponds, and I've never found myself in one.
We all say the right things until we're thrown into the situation.
I don't think it's going to happen. Well, you never think it would, but these people, it obviously did.
And I will say, too, yet again, this is a stretch. It was raining. So maybe when she first entered the water, it was just a little bit. And she thought that maybe it was just because it was raining.
Yeah.
And then she found herself...
It's a puddle.
Sliding down quickly.
I don't know.
Down the boat ramp. I'm not sure, but either way, I was impressed with her calmness. She was like looking out the window. She was like kind of had a little smirk on her face with her hands up. I mean, yet again, I feel like most people in that scenario would be freaking out. She kept her cool. Even though half of her minivan was submerged in water.
Somehow... She didn't seem embarrassed at all.
No, she did not care. It was crazy.
It completely sunk, so they would have to, pull it out. I have seen
They tried to pull it out, and it actually stayed buoyant for a wild amount of time.
And then it sunk. I've seen some videos of boats that if someone's trying to put a boat in the water, the truck goes with it accidentally. Like they just weren't paying attention. But in this case, this is just them driving into the water.
Straight on.
Yeah. And they looked older too. So that's all I'll say. It's all right. Doesn't mean you're a bad driver, but they just were not paying attention.
Hey, it's just stuff.
It's just
stuff.
That's a rental vehicle.
It's just stuff.
Okay.
It can be replaced. Their lives can't.
It wasn't even close. They weren't even close to drowning. When we led the segment that way, they were not even partially close.
No, if you get in
she wasn't even worried whatsoever.
In water, if her window wasn't down, you can't open the door.
Was her window
pressure.
down? It was down.
So
she was not even. It wasn't even a close call.
Close call.
Was not a close call.
We're thankful they made it out alive.
That's
the only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U. It's time for a Riot food fight.
We're food fighting on The Riot. What we have to taste this morning is Mountain Dew's new summer flavor. They call it Summer Freeze. It's supposed to taste, what does the bottle say?
it says a blast of summer Americana.
Americana?
Specific.
Sounds like the summer popsicle sort of thing. But outside of that, it doesn't really say anything else.
A blast of summer.
Yeah.
I can't wait to taste it.
Yeah.
When it's not summer. I know it's a perfect day for it.
Yeah. So, the impression that we get is that it's going to taste like a bomb pop. Some call it a rocket pop.
Sure.
I think there's other names for it, but it's a bomb pop. And so we're gonna go ahead and give this a whirl here.
Let's give it a strong A for smell because
it does smell.
It's aggressive.
Oh, it smells so good.
Real aggressive.
It smells like a bomb pop.
It does, like a melted one.
It even smells like I even smell the stick of a bomb pop.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is that just the cup or?
No, it's
wow, it's got an earthy, woodsy taste.
A little bit of it, yeah.
All right, so this is the new Mountain Dew Summer Freeze flavor. It is supposed to come in a zero version, but could not ever find zero stuff. But instead, it's the regular one. All right, you ready to try? Oh, woo! Woo!
Oh, hey.
Boom.
I like that.
Smack you in the face.
That's delicious. It's actually not too, it's weird to say to me, it's not too artificial compared to some of the other.
Oh, real natural.
It tastes like
No,
a real,
it's not.
a
You know what I
real
mean?
bomb pop.
Like it could be way worse. It tastes maybe because you're used to the bomb pop flavors.
Yeah, it's not too chemically.
Correct. Yeah.
Let me
that's good.
Dive back
Why don't you
in.
swish it around in your mouth and just get that sugar coated all over your teeth?
You don't want to because then you'll have to go to the dentist.
You need to brush your teeth right after you drink one of
Oh,
these.
it's good. It's very, very much the blue flavor, like a blue raspberry. You get a lot of that.
Does it taste like summer?
I think it's pretty summery.
If it was a really hot day and that was super cold,
Let me try it
Wouldn't
again.
that be good?
you could really enjoy
By
them.
the pool.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, you get it from an ice cream truck
Oh, even
at
better.
the lake.
Or you can make popsicles out of it. You can just absolutely do that.
Make
So
your own bomb pops.
You could. That's the Mountain Dew Summer Freeze flavor. What do you give it out of 5 summers? What are we giving it?
Ooh.
I wish I had the zero version as a reference because that's the one I would really drink probably.
compare.
But this one I have to give like a 4.25.
Yeah.
4.25.
You little-
Sure.
What is that? Did I steal
I was
your
going to
rating?
say like a 4.2.
4-2.
Yeah, 4.2. It's
Good enough-
pretty good.
good enough to go back to.
Good enough to compete with any other Mountain Dew, I would say.
Yeah, I would give it a 4 just because it is a lot, but it's not as bad as you think it would be. Sometimes the limited edition flavors aren't ones that you drink the whole bottle. You could get carried away with that.
I think so too. I think, and yet again, if I see the zero version of this, I'm going to be
You're getting
real
it?
tempted. Real tempted.
So that's the Mountain Dew Summer Freeze. If you've tried it, let us know what you think. But that's a good, delicious flavor.
Yeah, another successful food fight in the books.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
You know what today is? Isaiah, I know you know.
Are you going to wait for him to?
Yes, I am.
Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, I forgot until you mentioned it.
You so would.
Is that it?
Sounds like you don't
Yeah.
have plans for tonight then.
Well, I never know what, I mean.
You
a
don't know how to celebrate?
Well, no, I know I can celebrate.
Do you
but
feel
then
out of place celebrating?
it's hard to celebrate on the actual thing because then everybody else is celebrating and every.
Well, join the party.
Oh, so you want to
then-
celebrate Cinco de Mayo on Cinco
Separately.
de Cuatro.
I'd
Yeah.
like to do it the day after, so tomorrow. Because otherwise, if you order
Well-
anything from any place that has anything to do with Cinco de Mayo, you're just going to be waiting so much longer.
Or you
Here's the-
sit in there and you join the party.
no,
Yeah, but-
that sounds. My anxiety is up.
Here's what you
Yeesh.
don't realize, though, Nikki. Since Cinco de Mayo is today on a Friday, it's not just you can't celebrate tomorrow because it's Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so if you have to wait till at least Monday.
Well, I'm sure there's
Maybe
you
even
want
deals.
to avoid the
Tuesday.
crowds.
I'm sure there are deals today.
Yeah, there definitely is. If you want to go to Chipotle, in fact, you could have done this all week. If you use code Cinco23 on the Chipotle app or website, you could get a $0 delivery fee.
It'll just never come.
It's not going to be right.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And your whatever your meat portion is,
It's
going to be small.
Yeah. that's how
right.
it
We
is.
learned about that. Del Taco, today through Sunday, you get a free burrito with a $10 purchase.
I love a good Del Taco.
Yeah, but you do need to spend at least $10. Let's see. Is there anything else good? Why do you have to spend so much money?
I think if you just try,
I like round table pizza. You get 2 large or extra large pizzas. You take $10 off them. Doesn't really sound like Cinco de
Perfect
Mayo for me,
Cinco de
but
Mayo. That's
But
how I
I
love
think
to
you're feeling
celebrate.
pizza.
no matter what you order for dinner today or even for lunch, if you just try the code Cinco,
It probably will work.
try putting that code in anywhere, you might just get a random deal.
I'm sure if you went into any, because you're not gonna online, you're not gonna see like the traditional Mexican restaurants deal. You gotta walk in there.
You gotta go.
and they'll have something special for you. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, they'll probably charge you more.
I think that's how
It's
it
like
works.
all the dumb white people are going to come here today anyways.
I don't think that's how it works.
We'll charge them
They're
more.
probably doing. They're probably just constantly making margaritas in the back. That's what they're doing
Yeah.
today.
No, I think though that Hudson is onto something.
Yeah.
They can charge whatever they want.
We'll make the margaritas double the price. What are these people going to do? Go to a pizza place?
Well, the one is having a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
$10 off for 2 larges. I might have to.
So if you're doing anything fun for Cinco de Mayo tonight, let us know. Otherwise, we'll celebrate another day when it's not so probably hectic.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
Can you tell us about a time where you should have been fired?
Oh, should have been fired?
And you didn't, yeah.
Oh.
I know we have stories. Nikki, you've worked here long enough. You probably should have been fired multiple times by now.
Not fired, but like if you want to go back to should have been expelled or just a couple of days break from school. Yeah, I'd give you that one, but...
I can't believe I feel like anybody working in radio has to have stories of the time they shut off the station accidentally. But I guess maybe it's so common that that's why you don't get fired for doing that.
Or you have dead air. Like we maybe have had DJs in the past who have like fallen asleep instead of being on air.
Yeah.
And it gets noticed after a while.
Is that directed at me?
You never fell asleep.
I've never fallen asleep.
Yeah,
They don't even trust me in here alone. There's no way it could be me.
Well, you're still working towards earning that trust. It's not gone forever.
So do you have a story, Isaiah, of a time you should have been fired?
There was only like one time where I should have been fired. And it was when I was in college. I wasn't in radio. I've never had a time where I should have been fired in radio. But when I was in college, I worked as like a resident assistant. If you don't know what that is, I was someone who like oversaw other people in the dorms, right? And there was one night that I was supposed to be supervising the floor, doing the rounds, all that jazz, right? I wake up the next morning and my boss was like, "What in the heck happened last night?" And of course, I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And she's like, "What do you mean?" There was a couple things happened. One of the things was I was supposed to do like a round at 3 a.m. where I walk through the entire building, which I did. I did it, but apparently people just like weren't. There was nobody down there, and I was so confused because usually around 3 a.m. there's always people down there, but everyone had gotten out of the lobby, and the reason was because apparently on my watch, there was a knife fight that occurred in the lobby, which yet again, I was in my room. I had no idea there was such a ruckus, and so then she was like, "Yeah, apparently there's a knife fight last night, whatever," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well I wasn't out there for that clearly, or else I would let you know." And then she said, "Also, do you know who this is?" And she shows me a picture of a person. And I was like, "I know exactly who that is. He lives in the room right next to me.
Yeah.
I've made him a little door sign, done all the correct RA things I'm supposed to do."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Really? That's interesting because he's been banned on campus for this whole year." She's like, "So you're telling me he's been living in the room right next to you?" I was like, "Yeah, I thought he was the other person's roommate." And she was like, "No." She goes, "It was actually the guy down the hall." She goes, "He's like, Joseph is his roommate." And I was like, "Oh no, Joseph lives in the 3-person room down the hallway." And she goes, "Isaiah, there are no 3-person rooms in your hall. It's a 2-person room. That kid has been living in there." And she goes, "Also, to top it off, this is just the icing on the cake. So the kid that was banned, obviously, not supposed to be on campus, apparently him and his roommate in the room right next to me had been selling cocaine out of the room." And she was like, "It was the room right next to you. How did you not know?" And I was like, "Well, they were good. They seemed like good guys. Every time I walked by them, they were always like, 'Hey, Isaiah, how you doing?' They were always super nice to me. No wonder they were trying to butter me up. It worked. I had no idea." And she was like, "Well, he's banned from campus. Shouldn't even be in here. You made him a door sign. They're selling cocaine out of their dorm room. One kid has pretty much gotten exonerated from his room. He's down the hallway, living in whatever quarters it was, and the knife fight happened." So,
well, you were a good
You didn't get
RA.
fired for that.
but let me tell you, the people in my dorm loved me. That hall loved me.
Yeah, you were their useful idiot.
Yeah, clearly. I didn't get let go because I just played the, "well, I didn't know."
I think that tops no matter what any other story is. That one's the best.
8772 Radio U. If you've got anything to add, a time you should have been fired.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
Question is, what is a time you should have gotten fired but weren't? You got away with it either because nobody noticed or somebody did notice and they're just like, "Yeah, we'll let him
Well,
slide
maybe they're
this
not
time."
ready to make people noticed about it yet.
Yeah, that's right.
They
No,
can't
but
tell
that you
people.
can tell us about without risking anything. Isaiah shared his. It's not. I don't think anybody can top Isaiah's, but that doesn't mean there aren't still some good ones out there. Like Max, who texted in and said that he closed the runway at Ramstein Air Force Base without headquarters permission. He says As a young airman mistake.
We
it happens.
We would not know about
We'll
that.
take your word for it, Max.
Like, could they not land the planes?
Yeah. Was there
Like, there's someone flying in late night flight.
fighter jets circling
Yes.
and nowhere to go?
They're like, Max, do you read here? We're trying to land this thing. Nah, I'm out of here.
Top Gun's up there, and nothing.
But according to him, yours is still worse. So
Yeah.
Clearly, you couldn't have gotten that much trouble.
At least he didn't let people sell cocaine.
Okay, it wasn't mine yet again. I had no idea.
you were just sleeping. It's fine.
Yeah.
Marcus says that he accidentally shut down the entire network of a major retailer for about 2 hours.
Ooh.
It cost the company several $1 million.
So do you
Oh,
speak up and like make it known that you're the one who did
No.
it, or do you just hopefully
You
they
can't.
just think the department there was a problem?
He says, I figured out what I did wrong and changed it back, and everything started working again. So maybe just nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Although I feel like there'd be like an investigation for a couple $1 million that was lost due to the lost business. But who knows? He made it through nevertheless. What about Eddie, who says he used to work at a convenience store and he'd pay a homeless guy a few bucks and let him have free coffee to do some of the duties that he didn't like doing.
Because he didn't want to do all of it?
No.
Yeah,
way.
stuff he didn't like doing. Dang, how'd you get away with that?
Well, actually, that's delegating. That's the sign of a good manager.
and he was
right
helping
there.
somebody out too.
Yes.
So actually, I think that's I like that, Eddie.
It's not the worst, but I could definitely see you being fired if you
Yeah,
did
right.
that.
That's
yeah.
a big liability for sure. For me in radio, I definitely did. I used to do a 4-hour shift from 4 to 10, sleep at the station, then wake up and do 6 to noon. Mm-hmm. And so I fell asleep during that 6 to noon
you?
shift a lot. But I never shut the station off of the air when I did that. I did, having computer issues, shut off like the power bar surge protector.
Yeah.
That shut off everything.
Oh, it turned it
didn't
all
just
off?
fix the computer that I needed to fix.
Well, that's why we know it wasn't here because
But-
we don't have those out to where you can accidentally touch
well,
them.
Also, I only take some of the blame for that because I needed a computer and everything shouldn't have been connected like
Yeah.
that. I don't take the blame for that. At Panera, like when I was working at restaurants, I don't think I could have gotten fired if I tried because they didn't
No
fire
one cares
anybody.
enough.
But then when I worked at a greenhouse, I should have been fired every day, which is surprising. You think like they really did hire anybody. So how should you have been fired? Because unlike everybody else, I didn't care. I didn't want to be there.
You weren't there for the plants?
No, I didn't care about the plants. I didn't care about it. I was just there because my dad made me go. But and I mean, I took the money. I was like, well, I can work these horrible hours, these horrible conditions, but at least I get paid for it. But I
your
also
poor
don't
dad.
care if it ever comes to an end.
What if that was your dad's favorite time because you guys were working together and you didn't care a thing about it?
I feel like
His favorite
he
memories.
he was probably embarrassed of me.
They probably asked him to ask you to leave.
Right. I did eventually get laid off. So all the stuff that I should have been fired for cumulatively.
No, that
You
was
got
just
fired from your dad's
It was
job. How embarrassing.
restructuring. It
That's
wasn't
right.
you. Don't worry about it.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is The Riot. Radio U.
I've got a crazy story out of, I believe this is South Africa. I don't know if you've seen this going around where a wedding photographer has been asked for a refund. Thing is, the wedding took place 4 years ago.
And so the bride and groom are asking for their money back?
The bride is. The bride is asking for a refund for the photographs that were taken at her wedding in 2019, now in 2023. Reason being, can you guess?
Are they not together again?
Yeah, they're divorced.
You don't get to get your money back.
That's wild.
That's not how photography works.
Yeah, the wedding photographer even says, I can't untake the pictures.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to, why would I give you a refund?
Well, I'm looking at the screenshots from the photographer and the ex-bride going back and forth, and it seems like she's confusing that she thinks she's paying for the pictures, like the physical
To have
pictures,
them.
to have them, when really you are paying for the photographer to take those photos
For the photographer's time.
and edit those photos, which has already been done, and you don't get a refund on that.
The bride says, I'm entitled to demand a refund as I'm no longer in need of your pictures. I understand it's not your fault. So then why should they have to get the refund? But you are a business and such. So you must be able to grant refunds.
So she thinks that the paper is what costs money.
Yes, like she doesn't need the photos anymore.
Oh, okay.
So therefore she should have the money back.
So she's an idiot.
Yes, pretty much.
She's starting to bring lawyers into the matter.
I'd love to hear that.
Oh no, they said that a lawyer contacted her.
Wow.
And the lawyer laughed and said, no, that don't worry, nothing's going to come of it.
See, what I'm shocked.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that like her and her ex-husband didn't work out because it seems like she's got a sane head on her shoulders.
That's right.
And it seems like she has a lot of good decision-making abilities that I think would be great in a couple.
Well, she's single.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Just a heads up in case you come across her, just be aware. At first, when I was reading through the text in the beginning, it doesn't start off too bad. I thought, well, maybe she's divorced and she's panicking, and sometimes you got to start over again. So whatever money you can try to get, you're trying to get. And I thought, well, let's have some sympathy. And then as you read the text messages, that sympathy goes away.
She's a former bridezilla,
Exactly.
is what it is, for
She's
sure.
now a divorcezilla.
Sometimes they can be even worse.
I don't like that. That's the wrong approach to trying to do that.
And like of all things for her to like go at too. Like she's like, well, what should I do today? You know what? Now that I'm divorced, I'm going to call that photographer. Like of all the things for her to be thinking about in that day, that's what she came up with. That's wild.
You think she went through like all of her
photos,
everything from the wedding, and like, all right, I got to call and get a refund on the flowers, call and get a refund on the food, of course, obviously. Oh yeah, and the photographer too.
She was flipping through this photo. She's like, I don't even want these anymore. You know what? I should return them. Get my money back.
I like how towards the end she's like, fine, we need to meet. Let's talk about it. And then her reasoning was, well, let's talk about maybe a 70% refund.
70%? Goodness.
Seems reasonable, I think, in my mind.
Well, the photographer handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
Didn't really engage, which is good, but you don't get to ask for a refund on that.
But if she did go down and all of her wedding expenses tried to get a refund, some of those companies had to be dumb enough to do it, right?
No, not at all.
I think so.
No,
I think
not
some
4
of them are
years
just
later.
like not worth the trouble. Not worth the negative Yelp review.
I bet you a lot of the companies aren't still around.
True.
They divorced long ago.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
So coming up this weekend, Nikki has a garage sale.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I got to set up tonight, though.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of tips here I wanted to give to you.
Okay.
Not because I've ever had a garage sale, because I haven't, but I just looked them up for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And if anybody else wants to text in that has had a yard sale with a tip, 877-2-RADIO-U.
I haven't done it in a couple of years, but it's nice. I like to clean out things, and then you can make some money out of it. Otherwise, I just donate it at the end.
Yeah.
But I bought like the stickers that have the price. Like
you did?
Wow.
So I have to sticker things
You're
tonight.
sticking things.
Yeah,
Huh.
and then I took tables from work, so I brought
Unapproved.
I can approve that, and so I took those so I could put them on there. So I got to set it up.
Have you ever done a yard sale, Isaiah?
I don't have enough things to do that.
Have you ever gone to one? I've never gone
I've
to one.
been to yard sales before. My my aunt and uncle love yard sales, garage sales. They find all kinds of good
You know
stuff.
what's funny? I know exactly which aunt and uncle you must be
I'm talking about Big Weasel. That's what I'm talking about. That man, if you take him to a yard sale, he's going to walk out with, he's going to pay $30 and he's going to walk out with $300 worth of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be an expert haggler.
Oh,
See,
he is.
I never came across like bad people doing a yard sale because again, I've only done a few, but there was always those couple of people that were like looking for gold, like with your jewelry, or they're just too into it to where it's like, oh man, you know this is going to be a pain.
They're not just there for fun; they're treasure hunting.
That's what they're trying to find you being dumb and throwing away something
Precisely.
or selling it for cheap and you don't know its value.
They take you for a fool.
Yeah.
All right, here's some tips I have for you. One is you're setting the price. You said you got the stickers. You're setting the price on everything. Yeah, they say to do that. And if you want to take it a step further, offer discounts on buying multiple items.
Ooh, that sounds like more work.
If you got a bunch of clothes, like instead of doing all the clothes are $2, but if you buy 4 shirts, it's only $5.
All right, but
thing.
we're bundling.
That'd be a great deal. Yeah, bundle, get more, because that just gets rid of more stuff, right? So that's one option. 2, here's another one to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Mystery bags.
Oh, Oh, those are popular.
Yeah.
Stop. Mystery
blind
bags.
bags.
Yeah, do a
Nikki,
blind
load those up
bag.
with as much crap as you've got.
Yeah.
The
That's
worst
a fantastic
things.
idea.
Yeah, put a bunch of like toys in them for kids or
Yeah,
whatever. Do
and
you have
put it all
toys?
there.
Are you selling toys?
I feel like this, I don't think my stuff is going to work in that. You're like, here's a spatula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mystery.
A blind bag of kitchen utensils.
That's all I
Who
got.
knows what you'll get? Okay, it says set up the night before because you're doing like it's like a neighborhood
community
yard sale,
one,
right?
yeah.
So that's probably out there. It's been posted places, a start time or whatever. But you know there's going to be people there 30 minutes early.
Yeah, you're supposed to go out early.
Trying to get the very best stuff. So they say set up everything up that you can the night before.
Yeah.
And then be ready early because that's when you can make some good sales.
And I'm tired too. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that tonight, but I have to.
Oh, do you have this, Nikki?
What?
Plenty of change.
I'm supposed to. I need cash and change. I'm seeing my
Yeah.
mom today. Sometimes she has change. I was like, do you have the change bag? Can I bring it
You got the
with me?
change bag. Hey, if you run to my dad today, he has enough change in his pockets
Pocket, right? They
to
always have
support you
change.
for the whole day.
I just need some starter cash so that way I can, make change if needed.
Another tip for you: have bags and boxes for customers, so it's easier for them to get rid of, like to carry stuff.
Oh, that's
wherever
a
they
good
go.
idea.
Yeah, you probably have a bunch of like leftover garbage bags, right?
Sure.
So make sure you
Why
have
do you
that.
say you probably?
Who doesn't have a drawer full of grocery bags?
Well,
Just
then-
save for this very moment.
You mean the dog poop bags?
Yes,
Is that what you're
exactly.
talking about?
That's what I use them
Phrase
for.
it that way then.
I think the only tip you need, Nikki, this is what you need to do. You need me and Hudson to show up tomorrow.
I know.
And then when everybody, not to buy things, but when there's people walking around, I'll be like, dang, there's some pretty good stuff here. Have you seen this? This is worth way more than what they're valuing that. You probably should come over here.
Is that gold?
Oh my gosh.
Just get me and Isaiah to murmur.
Can you believe they're selling this? Me and Hudson just acting as if we don't know Nikki. Next, like, can you believe they're selling this?
I
stuff?
need you to stay at the bottom of the driveway then, and then that entices people up. So
You
we'll
guys
see.
need to come up here. There's, my gosh,
Well,
I can't
I'll
believe they're
tell you-
getting rid of this stuff.
I'll tell you what, on Monday, let's all come back and reconvene, and then
Yeah.
I'll tell you how much I made.
Oh,
What's your
I
goal? Do you have a
wanna know.
goal?
Yeah, you have a goal.
No, I'd like
You
to
gotta
make
have a goal.
a few $100, obviously.
okay.
But you can make some pretty good money.
Actually, since it's a neighborhood yard sale, it'd be even more helpful to have us there to be like, oh, this is a much better yard sale than the ones down the street.
Oh my gosh, we
All
were in
those other
another
houses?
neighborhood earlier
Yeah.
this morning.
Guys, I don't need you for that. It's going to be
This
obvious.
is where it's at. Gosh, this Nikki lady, her stuff is good.
You actually don't even need to go down that way.
I can't imagine
This
what's
is the
in her house if this is what's out here.
Oh, I really love that support. You guys can come over tomorrow.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot.
This show only exists because of support from listeners like you.
Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.